Hello friends, in unit 1 up till now we have discussed the various definitions of communication and we had a look at the importance of communication. We understood that it is very important for planning and decision making. It helps you improve your efficiency as a team, as a group. It helps achieve coordination among various members in the group. It is also used when you want to motivate somebody. We had a look at a few clips. We talked about how communication is important in planning, and we saw that the coach here, Shah Rukh Khan, does not only plan for the team, but he also communicates the plan to the team members so that the plan is implemented in a very effective fashion. So we understood that it is important for the boss to communicate the plan to the team members to achieve effective implementation. Then we had another look at this particular clip wherein we saw that communication is not only important in making decision, collecting information to make decisions, but also when you have to convince the other members of your team about the rationale behind your decision, you have to communicate. It may so happen that the other members of the team, they are not always agreeable to your idea, agreeable to the decision that you have made. So you have to convince them. And how do you convince them? By communicating to them the logic, the rationale behind your decision. Because it is very, very important for a boss to convince the subordinates also. Because otherwise, what will happen? The subordinates will only follow the boss instruction. But if they are convinced, they would put their best efforts. They would put in their best efforts to implement the decision made by the boss. So we saw this in this particular clip. We also saw how it is very important to communicate, to be able to coordinate well. We saw these two players communicating with each other using code languages and gestures, and they were able to function in a more coordinated fashion, and they were able to score the goal also. Then we saw how it's important for us to communicate when we are trying to motivate our subordinates or when we are trying to motivate the other members of the team, specifically when the task requires wholehearted efforts by all the members of the team. So everybody has to be motivated, everybody has to be at the highest level of motivation, and this motivation is always only possible through communication. And then we started talking about the various objectives of communication: to pass on some instructions, to motivate other members of the team. When you are counseling somebody, then also you need to communicate. So one goal is to counsel somebody and another goal is to persuade the others. Now let's have a look at some more objectives that you try to achieve through communication. So now one more objective that you try to achieve through communication is to warn others of some danger, of some risk. Now this is a common example which you see on the roadside many a times, and this is specifically true for the hilly roads, and you would see this particular sign. Now please understand, if you look at the various traffic signs, you would understand that this red colored triangle means that these things have to be followed. It is mandatory for whosoever is on the road to follow these instructions, right? And this is basically a warning that there is a landslide taking place. So this is warning the drivers that landslide is taking place. The rocks are falling off the cliff and you will have to drive very, very cautiously. So this is one more objective that we try to achieve through communicating. By communicating, we warn others of an impending danger. Then requesting somebody. I hope this particular picture reminds you of what happens with you generally on 14th of February or just around the same time. This is a request by this girl to this particular boy. This boy, I do not know why he's not looking happy. He should be looking very, very happy because this girl has offered her heart to this boy. In normal circumstances, this boy must be happy, but he's probably not very happy. Probably some other girl also has offered the heart, so he's now in a confused state of mind as to whose heart should he accept. However, please understand that this is some kind of request, and this girl is trying to woo this particular boy. She's trying to court this particular boy. She's proposing love to this particular boy. So this can be an example of a request. And how is she communicating? She has not said anything. She is feeling really, really shy. She just cannot say anything. But to make up for that shortcoming, what she has done is she is making use of this gesture. She is passing on a red colored or a pink colored heart to this boy. Now this shows that to be able to communicate, you don't need to be using words all the time. You can communicate through other methods also, through other means also. For example, you can communicate by just showing this kind of a red colored heart and passing it on to your love interest. Fine, right? Or maybe in some other case, somebody may pass on a pink flower or a red flower also. So this can be another mode of communicating. You are communicating the same thing, you are making the same request, but the method that you are using is slightly different. Now have a look at another objective that we try to achieve through communication. Many a times we demand something, and whom do you demand something from? Who is higher up in the hierarchy in the organization, who is more powerful, who has greater authority than you. You don't demand something from somebody who is having much less authority than you. When you ask your younger brother to do something, that is not demanding, but you demand your parents. So you demand from those who are higher up in the authority, who are maybe higher up in the organization hierarchy. For example, if a teacher wants to put up a demand, the teacher will put up a demand in front of the principal and not in front of the students, right? So you demand from somebody who is higher up in the authority, and here you can see these people demanding something from maybe the government, from maybe the authorities. And what they are demanding, let's have a look at the placard that they are holding. And what is this placard saying? Protect the farmers of India, revoke the anti-farmer ordinances. I hope you are going through newspapers and you know that they are basically protesting against the farm bills, the 3 farm bills, and they are asking these bills to be withdrawn, to be revoked, these laws to be revoked. I hope you know about the farmer protest in Delhi and nearby areas, specifically farmers from states of Punjab and Haryana, including some farmers from Rajasthan and UP. They are demanding this withdrawal of the 3 farm bills. So they are putting up this demand in front of the government. They want the government to give in to their demand. And how do they do this? They will have to communicate. And how are they communicating? They are not saying anything. They have put on a mask because it's the corona period also, but they are saying using this placard, right? So they are making use of language, but then they are not saying anything. They are making use of the written word, this placard. These people are also holding a placard. So this is another way of communicating. Now, complain. Many a times you communicate because you have to register a complaint. You have to lodge a complaint against somebody. For example, have a look at this particular complaint which seems to be lodged by a student like you people only. The city police officer in charge city, and that is why there are a number of mistakes here. Subject: application for lost mobile phone. So this guy has lost his or her mobile phone and he has lodged a complaint in front of the police officer in charge of the city, and he must have lodged this complaint and he must have requested that his lost mobile be traced by the police authorities. So this is a complaint, right? So these are the other objectives of communication. These are the other goals that you try to achieve by way of communicating. Through communication, you may have to warn somebody, you may want to request something, you may be demanding something, you may be lodging a complaint. For all this, you will have to communicate, and all these goals can only be achieved through communicating. But again, communication may not always be verbal, may not always be using a language. It could be that you are making use of gestures, you might be using paralanguage, you might be using some symbols like the symbol that has been used here or the symbol that has been used here to communicate to others, right? So with this we wrap up this particular topic. In the next session that we'll have a look at the communication model, the standard model that we have, and then we'll look at the different elements involved in the process of communication. I would not be taking too much time to discuss these two things. Why? Because we have already discussed them in first semester in English language and communication skills, right? So till then, keep preparing your notes as has been instructed. You have to prepare notes every single day on every single topic taught, and most likely today we'll be inspecting so that we can understand that you are writing the notes or not, right? So keep preparing your notes so that the work does not start piling up. Keep preparing your notes on a regular basis, and keep also preparing for your internal assessment quizzes, which will be taking place every fortnightly, every 14 days. So you have to be prepared for that as well. Thank you very much.